good luck to the short-term investors. The challenge in this market right now is the macro forces are so large and they're so idiosyncratic and so unpredictable. We could have a tweet sometime in the next 10 minutes that sends the market plus 5% or down 5%.
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now, guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. Matt Hougan dives in the big question. When will Bitcoin hit $1 million? He shares sharp insights, market trends, and bold predictions. Let's hear what he has to say.
I think crypto is all about short-term versus long-term right now. Long-term, everything is lining up for a sustained bull market in crypto. We see continued flow into Bitcoin. We see continued loss of faith in institutions. On the Ethereum and other assets side, we see rise in stablecoins, rise in tokenization. All of that's looking great. But of course, we can't look past the short term. So most of us spent our weekend tracking the latest, over and back on tariffs, wondering how much macro chaos there will be in the market right now. I really think investors need to decide, are they short-term investors or are they long-term investors? Those have very different feels in the market right now. And that's sort of the mix I'm trying to weigh myself as I look at these markets.
Let's talk about both short-term and long-term investors and what each cohort should be looking at right now, how they should be behaving. Let's first look at short-term investors. If I'm a short-term investor, what should I be looking at? What should I be wary of?
You should be crossing your fingers. Good luck to the short-term investors. The challenge in this market right now is the macro forces are so large and they're so idiosyncratic and so unpredictable. We could have a tweet sometime in the next 10 minutes that sends the market plus 5% or down 5%. I think it's extraordinarily difficult to be a short-term investor in this sort of market activity. So I'd be monitoring the macro situation. I'd be monitoring every tweet coming out of Washington, and I'd be wondering what's going to happen next. Maybe keep an eye on the 10-year interest rate, on the dollar weakening. It's a very difficult environment, I think, for short-term investors.
You'd be maybe signing up for Truth Social if you don't already have it, I'm assuming.
For sure, yeah. Drip it into your mains, I guess. You have to be monitoring that stuff right now.
Now, sticking with those short-term investors, I want to talk about U.S. President Donald Trump really flip-flopping on these tariffs. Talk to me about what that signals for you.
Yeah, I think in the short term, it's signaling just that this is a very volatile market. I think as you extend out a little bit, it can't be positive for the global economy in the medium term. That's what you're hearing from everyone out there. And you're in this difficult situation where we're clearly breaking something in the existing economy. We're clearly slowing down global trade. We're clearly weakening the dollar. We're clearly introducing uncertainty. That is a negative setback. And there's this waiting game to see when the Fed or the Treasury will step in to inject liquidity into the market, will give us a new sort of recovery program. The challenge about us, where we're sitting from a short-term perspective, is all the signaling coming out of the Fed and out of the Treasury is we're not going to do anything. The market is functioning. It may be challenged, but it's functioning. So whether it's former Fed governors writing pieces for Bloomberg, even Janet Yellen adding her thoughts on the market earlier today, they're all saying this is not the responsibility of the Fed and the Treasury. So I think investors are sort of playing this waiting game. When will people come to the rescue? And the people who usually come to the rescue say, not yet. And that, I think, gives us a negative bias in the short term. So if I were guessing, I think there's more risk than opportunity until we see the Fed or the Treasury ride to the rescue. And there's just no sign that they're planning to do that right now.
Bitcoin is showing impressive strength amid growing economic uncertainty, according to crypto market maker Wintermute. While traditional assets like the S&P 500 and NASDAQ have dropped to their lowest points in a year, and bond yields soared to highs unseen since 2007, Bitcoin has held its ground. Its recent price dip was relatively minor, briefly returning to levels seen around the U.S. election period, a clear sign of resilience. This is a big shift from the past, when Bitcoin often plunged harder than traditional assets during financial stress. Wintermute sees this as evidence that Bitcoin may be maturing. Growing institutional interest through ETF and the narrative of Bitcoin as digital gold have helped it weather recent storms, but not everyone is convinced it'll stay this way. Analyst Alex Obshikuch believes Bitcoin could return to risk asset behavior if global trade tensions continue. Still, with inflation cooling and adoption rising, Bitcoin may be turning a new page.
Eventually, the likelihood is 100%. Eventually, they can't resist the big red button. They've been taught over time that when there's market uncertainty or economic uncertainty, you have to come to the rescue with liquidity. I think if we see more challenges in the treasury market or a disorderly sell-off in the dollar, I think you'll see them step in. So it's going to happen eventually. But I do read from the signaling that it will be slower than many people expect. So this uncertainty could certainly stretch for days. Maybe it could stretch for weeks. Possibly it could stretch for months. I think we're in for a relatively significant period of volatility in the markets before those forces ride to the rescue. But make no mistake, eventually this is a political game and eventually they will ride to the rescue. It's just a matter of when. It will happen, but I think it could take a little bit longer than people have been conditioned to expect in the past.
XRP is catching serious attention again after bouncing from a low of $1.61 to over $2.15 in just a week, marking a 15% jump. Traders and analysts are eyeing the $2.20 mark as a key breakout level. If XRP can close above that zone, it could kick off a much stronger rally, with some predicting a move toward $10. And even an optimistic target of $20 in the long run. According to analyst Hougan, XRP has regained a critical value area above $2, which was originally established back in December 2024. If it holds above $2 and the election VWAP of $2.03, the chart setup looks very constructive, he said. Support around $2.10, which lines up with the 100-day DMA, is also gaining strength as buyers stack orders in that range. Analysts are watching it closely as a likely spot for a quick liquidity grab before any major move upward. Looking further ahead, anonymous analyst Melius believes that XRP may be in the middle of a larger Elliott wave pattern. He sees $10 as a conservative year-end target, with $15, $20 possible if the cycle plays out similarly to 2017. Interestingly, Melius suggests that the current wave might take longer to complete, potentially pushing the bullish peak into early 2026. Meanwhile, X-Force Global adds that XRP still looks exceptionally bullish compared to the rest of the crypto market, reinforcing the case for new all-time highs. If momentum holds, XRP may just be gearing up for a historic breakout. If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to Bitcoin Zella for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.